Hi, I'm Jeff Bailey, and in this video, I'm going to show you two movements to help resolve the pain and improve the health from spondylitis. What is spondylitis? But a very specific form of arthritis found in the lower back. What is arthritis? Well, it's labeled as a disease, but I think of it as nothing more than a toxic environment. And where there's a toxic environment, there's going to be degeneration. So if we can just clean up the toxic environment inside each joint, we can promote health, and with health comes the reduction or the complete diminishment of pain. Every joint in your body is designed to flex. That's when body parts come closer together, and extend. That's when body parts move farther away. The spine is no different. It's a stack of bones designed to flex and extend. And the lower back has developed this stigma that it always needs to be supported and maintained. We have to maintain the lordotic curve in the low back, no matter what the cost, it seems. We have back supports that you can add to your office chairs. Office chairs are designed with the back support. You have the low back support in your car. And so we have this stigma that it must be stabilized and maintained. Now, the fact is, we want to get the flexion in the low back as well. It's not a common thought, but in my experience and the experience of many of my students, when we start to get the movement, the flexion in the low back, we start to gain health. And where there's health, there's no pain. So how do we get movement into the low back? Here we go. I'd like you to have some firm cushion placed close to a wall. You're going to sit on the cushion with your sacrum, that's the lowest part of your spine, touching the wall. Have the soles of your feet together and place your heels about two big hands away from the groin. So instead of pulling the heels in close, we have them far away. And if you look down, your legs make a square shape. Why do we have the heels out so far? Well, because we're going to use them as leverage, a cantilever, to keep the sacrum touching, if not pressing, the wall. Now, we rest a moment. We feel the soles of the feet touching the floor. We press them into the floor a little bit, and you generate this connection through your bones into the sacrum. Press the sacrum against the wall. It doesn't matter where your knees are. They could be high up or lower down. This shape will also work on the hips. And there's a very intimate and helpful relationship between the hip, which is a big ball and socket joint, and the movement of your lumbar spine. Whenever we reach over to pick something up, we want those two joints to work in harmony. And that's the whole idea of this movement. Knees high, knees low, it matters not. Press the feet into the floor. Feel the sacrum pressing against the wall. And very, very slowly start to move forward, allowing the entire spine to curve. Now, the upper back tends to curve very easily. So we're not craning or straining the head forward. We're not reaching, because that would put the movement into the upper back alone. We don't need that so much. Instead, you can retrude the chin a little bit, lift your head, be sure your hands and arms and shoulders are relaxed. Press your feet into the floor and draw the abdominal muscles in. Draw them in. Feel your belly button moving toward the wall behind you. Press the floor with your feet. Can you feel your sacrum pressing against the wall? Like if somebody had a piece of paper there, they'd have a hard time pulling the piece of paper out. Can you feel stiffness in your lower back? If you feel the stiffness in the lower back, then you found the rigidity. You found the problem, and we spend time with that stiffness. See, there's no accomplishing the shape. We just find the problem, find the restriction, spend some time with it, usually 1.5 to 2 minutes. This is where we practice peace. We continue to press the feet into the floor, the whole outer edge of each foot. I continue to draw the belly in a little bit. I continue to monitor my shoulders, my neck, and my head for any kind of strain or tendency to pull myself forward. Not doing that. That's another kind of yoga. This is very unique, and we're trying to get the movement into the lower back. And a little bit of movement goes a long way, so don't worry about trying to perfect the shape. You could do this shape daily, but give yourself a rest day periodically. When we come up out of the shape, we reverse the process. I draw the belly in, I press the feet, and I make an attempt to get each bone in the lower back to move toward the wall one at a time. Then I come up, I rest my hands on my knees, breathe through the nose, just have a moment of relaxation. Now, we don't need to do repetitions. We're not trying to strengthen or stretch, anything like that. There's a thick layer of lumbar fascia. It's called the thoracolumbar fascia on the back. In addition, there's 7 layers of muscles in the lower back. And so there's a lot of support to hold us upright. And most people believe that it's more challenging to get the lower back or the whole spine to extend. But I found just the opposite. With all of that reinforcement on the back of the body and hardly any on the front, we need to come to this shape often. This shape or variations on it show up in many of the Avita Yoga classes. The shape does work on the knees, it does work on the hips, but specifically we are targeting the lumbar spine and getting it to curve. Now I'm going to show you a version standing. Okay, for the standing version, it will be helpful to have a yoga mat, some sort of sticky surface to keep your feet from sliding, and here's why. Carpet just gets a little tricky. Almost any other flooring will do. You're going to place your feet far enough out so that you really have to rely on the wall. My feet are about 18 inches away from the wall. They're hip width apart, and I'm turning the heels slightly out, just about an inch out, to have a little internal rotation on the leg and the hip. That's just a helpful movement for the hips. Now remember, hip movement works in concert with lower back movement. When we go to pick up something, we just want to be able to pick it up. And if you can see, my hip is moving, that's the big ball and socket joint, and my lumbar spine is flexing to tie my shoes, to pick up an object. We don't want to have to think about that. We want all the parts to move. So we have the feet a good distance away from the wall. I can feel myself having to rely on the wall. The heels are slightly turned out, the knees are straight. Okay, so I'm engaging the quadriceps just enough to keep the knees nice and straight. I'm not going to let my knees bend throughout this movement. Similar to the work we did seated on the bolster, we're going to draw the belly in, and we're going to engage the hamstrings to move the sit bones towards your heels. Okay, you got 2 sit bones here. That's where the hamstrings attach. And when they engage, they pull the back of the pelvis posteriorly, backwards. Now there's our foundation to get the movement and flexion into the lumbar spine. Seated, we use the feet out front as a cantilever to get that movement. But here, the feet are positioned, the legs are straight and strong. I'm moving the tip of the tailbone down, and now I draw the belly in, and I slowly start to come forward. Now, what is the goal? The goal is to get compressive forces into the lumbar spine in the way of flexion. The goal is not to try to touch the floor. So I draw the belly in, I keep the knees straight, and I'm vigilant for any movement of the tailbone moving up the wall. I don't want that to happen. I want to keep the tailbone stuck to the wall, and I want to keep it moving down, if anything, because of the engagement of the hamstrings. The arms can hang and relax, shoulders relaxed, neck and head can be relaxed, but the legs are active and the abdominal muscles are active. I'm drawing them in, lifting the abs up away from the floor. Sometimes you'll get this super sweet release on the fascia that covers the sacrum. And that fascia that covers the sacrum ties in with the thoracolumbar fascia. So any kind of fascial release there is a good thing. Now you can stay here for 1.5, 2, even 3 minutes, because this can feel so good to get this movement happening in the lumbar spine. Hang out, close the eyes, let the shape work for you. Yes, there's some work keeping the knees straight. Yes, there's some work lifting the abs. Again, I'm not straining my head forward. I'm not reaching for my toes. None of that. Sometimes the stiffness is so strong and so rigid that you don't even have the feeling of rigidity. It's okay. The shape is still working for you. Just don't push forward. Don't try to reach for the toes. Don't try to advance the shape. After 1.5, 2, 3 minutes, we slowly reverse the process and raise back up, trying to get each vertebrae to move toward the wall. When you finally get back up to the wall, engage the quadriceps, straightening the knees, draw the belly in, and again, press the lumbar spine now toward the wall. Can you get the lumbar spine to the wall? Some will, some won't. But that is a worthy goal. It'll take some time, it'll take some practice. Just go stand next to the wall and do this once a day. Draw the belly in, get the low back to touch the wall, and then you can start to move the upper back more fully against the wall without letting the low back come away from the wall. We're not trying to go through life with a straight spine. We're not trying to have perfect posture or anything like that. We're just trying to get some movement in the places that are resistant to the movement. And if we can get the movement in the places that are resistant to the movement, then we start to cleanse the underlying joints. When we cleanse the underlying joints, the healing starts to take place and the pain goes away. Thank you very much for joining with me here today. I hope you found these videos helpful. If you like what you're seeing here, click through to Avita Online. I'll also put a link in below that'll take you specifically to a hip and lower back workshop. It's an affordable workshop that will give you 3 classes that you can work through. It'll go into more details of what I'd covered here, along with some physiology and anatomy. You can see what is moving and how it works. Thank you very much. Namaste.